Welcome to Budapest, Europe's porn capital.
It's sort of inevitable for you to come across the adult business.
You can throw a stone, you're gonna hit one. Every direction, any direction.
My name's Thea Jacobs, and I'm a feature writer for The Sun. In this film, I want to take you through a day in the life of adult film stars who work here in the little-known porn hotspot of Hungary.
Crazy scenes sell.
Took so much Viagra, I had to get new lenses in my eyes last year.
I think you have to be a little bit cuckoo in the head to be able to do something like that.
I begin my journey at a nondescript suburban house. I'm here to meet Sabina, who is an executive director of one of Budapest's largest talent agencies. It's her job to identify, book, and manage the agency's adult models and secure them work across the European porn productions. She's in charge of ensuring that scouts find potential porn prodigies to add to the agency's books.
Well, in the perfect world, like the perfect case would be somebody age-wise, I'd say 19 to 30, probably. Personally, I prefer natural looks and without any bad experiences in the industry. So if it's a male, then you would like somebody who actually knows how to shoot, who knows that he's capable of doing what it takes, to successfully perform on set. Has to be good body, like good physical shape. And well, when talking about penis, I'd say 20 centimeters and more. So the house has 3 floors. 2 of them are like living quarters, and the ground floor is used for many things. So there you can see lots of different rooms.
The agency represents models from all over Europe who fly in to film in Budapest. To save on accommodation costs, they can elect to stay alongside other porn actors here in the agency's shared house.
Girls come from different backgrounds. Some of them can afford, let's say, their own place. A lot of them cannot, that's number one. And also number two, if you're interested in shooting your own content, and a lot of them do, it's nice to be in one place with other people who are also interested and tested, and you have all the conditions, to shoot. It's just easier. You don't even need to look for somebody to collaborate with because they are here already. Plus, here we have a guy who can help with like basic editing and shooting, and you don't need to pay extra for that. So it's easy. Plus, again, industry can really alienate you, and a lot of girls, they lose touch with families, etc. And here you can kind of create some sort of community. You're surrounded by people who are in the same field, and I think psychologically it also makes it better.
The house is not for the camera shy. In fact, just stepping through the front door means you're already being live streamed onto the internet for paying punters to peek at.
Yes, this is technically a wire house, and it's streaming to Camsoda 24/7. There's people there who are willing to pay to access, the views. I would say they can also discuss what's happening. There's the comment section. Also, it's possible to reach out to the girls because people who live here, they can also read the comments. And for example, there's all kinds of things, all kinds of interactions you can have. Or if you choose not to, you don't have to. So basically, the cameras are there, and there's people who enjoy just being able to watch, to listen to what's happening here, and that's it.
It's crazy.
I know somebody's paying right now to watch this. Yeah, exactly. Hi, guys.
Budapest, the HSWP, the Hungarian Socialist...
Porn first started being filmed in Budapest after the fall of communism in 1989 due to cheap taxes and affordable locations. 10 years later, in the USA, Dan Leal, better known as Porno Dan, was beginning his career in the adult industry.
I used to sit around my fraternity house in college, and all my fraternity brothers my family worked for the government, and a lot of my friends did, and high up in places, and what do you want to do? And we graduated from college, and I used to say, I want to own a porn company. And after college, I did like expected. I went to work in corporate America. I made a lot of money at a young age, and saved my money and decided at the ripe age of 29 that I had had enough, and I wanted to try and start a porn company.
He moved to Budapest 8 years ago and now runs a production company based in the city that shoots all over Europe.
I like Budapest because I can pick up the top international models. You see talent from Ukraine, you will see talent from Spain, you'll see talent from France, you'll see talent from everywhere in Europe. So Budapest is kind of like a hub where the talent comes in and gets tested. There are 2 very large agencies here, and then the agents spread the talent out throughout Europe.
I wanted to hear more about what the industry was like for those in front of the camera, so I'd organised to meet some of the talent I'd been hearing so much about.
My name is Kiara Lord, and I'm a sex worker because I'm not only an adult actress but also content creator and an escort as well. Living in Hungary, it's sort of inevitable for you to some shape or form come across the adult business. I was pretty much contacted through an agent on a social media platform asking if I was interested in modeling, but not being specific about what kind of modeling, but I assumed already that it was something to do with sex modeling. This agent kept approaching and trying, and I just thought, okay, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try.
The first time you sort of went to shoot a scene, was it weird having the camera crews there?
It was so weird, super awkward. It was almost an out-of-body experience for me. It's really not an everyday experience, so it was super awkward. I think you have to be a little bit cuckoo in the head to be able to do something like that.
For British porn star Ava Cox, her first experience of porn was a little different.
Well, to be honest, I took to it like a duck to water. My first scene was in Budapest, and I went there and I had no idea of what was going to happen. And my first scene was actually a boy, girl. And I don't know, I loved it like a duck to water. I loved it, it was so much fun.
At more than 6 foot tall, Ava stood out straight away. And now she's one of the highest paid stars in the business.
When I first come in the industry, I think my height was a massive seller because there's not many people who are my height. So I'm 6'2", so I am really tall. But when I first started doing like movies and stuff, they liked me with smaller guys. Crazy scenes sell. I remember I did a scene for like Brazzers a long time ago, and I was picking up this guy and he was like 5'3", and they loved it. It went crazy. And then I've just done another scene with Blacks, and the guy who I worked with, Jason Love, he's like 6'5", I'm 6'2", so it was like two giants together.
Well before any scene starts, all the participants have to be tested for sexually transmitted infections. Many of the porn stars in Budapest come here to do it.
So we do HIV, hepatitis B, C, syphilis, chlamydia, gonorrhea, and trichomonas. HIV we test on PCR and the antibody, and the PCR we measure also the chlamydia, gonorrhea through swab and the urine samples.
Budapest testing facilities are one of the reasons that the city has become such a hub for the adult industry.
When I started, the biggest production hubs in America was Los Angeles by far, probably 95% of the production was there. And in Europe at that time, there was probably more porn shot in London than there was anywhere. There was agencies at that time, there was a lot of talent, and the testing standards in the UK were pretty much the same testing standards as everywhere else. There's hardly any production done on the UK now, and the biggest reason for that is our inability to get the talent tested in a cost-effective and timely manner. Professional companies like mine have a very high standard of testing.
Our test is a little bit special because we are, at least in Hungary, we are the only one who using QR codes on our tests, because unfortunately it happened in the past that people trying to fake their results. They put different date on it, you know, they try to do the smart way. And it happened that a producer called me and they said, hey, what's going on? I have a test in my hand which shows me clear, good to go. But then I read the QR code and it says not clear. So what's going on? What's the truth? And I told them, unfortunately, you got a person who was faking their test. But the QR code is a very secure way to prevent faking tests.
Most porn productions have stringent written and unwritten rules that directors, producers, and actors abide by.
In this industry, maybe not so important in the mainstream, but in this industry, when you have a performer in front of camera, you know, most of the time with some insecurities, she's naked, she's about to have sex on camera, and if there's a person who never done this, telling her, oh, it will be okay, or try this, it will not hurt, or try that.
For directors, it helps if you've been in front of the camera yourself, like Julia Grandi.
I could sit with the girl and say, listen, I've been there, I've done this is gonna be like this is gonna feel like this is what you have in your head, this is what will happen on the set. And that's helped me a lot because the girls feel the connections.
We have everything from a checklist with 52 boxes, I believe I sent you, and it starts with things as basic as kissing. And I've had girls, yesterday for example, I had a girl check off no to kissing with tongue. Okay, so that's number 2, and she already said no, she's not comfortable doing that. So it's up to the performers what they do and what they do not do in the scene. The pay for the more extreme sex acts is much higher than the basic or more vanilla sex acts.
Spitting in my mouth, like that's something I would absolutely never do and wouldn't do in my private life either. It's just something that grosses me out. I'm not okay with super rough scenes, so like hair pulling or slapping, spanking. I'm just too sensitive. I would never suck on a man's feet.
Have you been asked to?
Yes.
I shoot pretty fast. Like yesterday was very quick. We finished in under 4 hours. If I do a little more detailed introduction or comedy, because sometimes we'll go outside of the city center or we'll want to get some landmark in the background or something more detailed, then it takes about 6 hours.
I mean, when I do a normal scene, I go there and obviously I have my hair done, my makeup done, everything's waxed or whatever before I go, so I turn up on set immaculately clean. Because at the end of the day, if you're not, and a producer wants you to do, like you get close-ups and stuff, the last thing you want is stubble. Like, no. Like you have to be nice and clean and ready to work. Like it's your job.
For the male performers, there is one very, very important factor.
One variable that can cause a scene to go awry is the male performance. And for that reason, when I was active in doing 15 scenes a week, we relied on Viagra. Okay, I admit it. I took Viagra like Pez. Okay, I took so much Viagra I had to get new lenses in my eyes last year. I blew out the capillaries in the back of my eyes from taking so much. This is what was going on 15 years ago. Now the guys are injecting.
And those injections are actually not for the exact purpose.
It's an injection that's eventually meant for a paraplegic. Nowadays, with the men, 90% are incapable of doing the job without injections. There's probably in Europe, there's less than 10 people who can do this job without injecting. In fact, I know there's less than 10.
The drugs are used to enable certain disabled men to have an erection and enjoy a sex life they otherwise wouldn't. Outside of porn, they're normally used as a last resort, when nothing else works. But in the adult industry, they're a common sight.
There's several reasons why. One, it's a very competitive industry. And if a male fails, that male will probably not get rehired by that company.
They come with dangerous side effects such as a prolonged erection and in serious cases inflammation of the liver. But despite the risks, they're used regularly in the porn world.
And because they're injecting, we're starting to see the first generation of guys who've been injecting really to start having very serious medical issues, where they're having to get pumps put in order to, and they're not able to perform without injections at all, even at home.
The ratio of male to female porn actors is huge. It's a tough industry to break into. For the men that make it, many, many more do not.
Hola, putita.
Daryl Deeps is one that did.
Well, I had a girlfriend like almost 8.5 years. And we had some troubles, so it didn't go so well. And a friend of mine sent my contacts to the production because he had contacts with them as a joke. See if I could like liven me up or something. And it kind of worked. I got the calls like, yeah, why the like I want to see what's this all about. So I went and it was good. And then they gave me the money after I had sex with the girl. And they gave me the money. I went directly home to my mother like, yo, I found a glitch in life. Like, I used to work 2 weeks for this.
And what brought you to Budapest?
This is the central. This is the porn central of Europe. I mean, if you can throw a stone, you're gonna hit one. It's gonna be every direction, any direction. You're gonna have a girl or a studio or a house.
Per scene, girls typically get paid around £1,000, and the men get between 600 and 800. But the rise of direct-to-consumer sites like OnlyFans has given porn stars another lucrative avenue of income and a powerful bargaining chip with the big production houses.
Years ago when I started porn, it was very much the porn production companies who told you what to do and who said you've got to work here and you've got to do this, and now you've got like OnlyFans, which has given creators and performers a voice to do what they want to do, to produce their own things, to say to these companies, you can't afford me now anymore. If you want me to work for you, then this is my rate. So a lot of the production companies actually won't shoot these girls because they want that much.
Because they have other sources of income, they get to say, look, I don't really need porn, so if you pay more, then I'll do it.
All the porn stars agree on one thing.
This job is not easy. It's hard and it's time consuming, and you spend a lot of time alone and a lot of time sort of in yourself really to be the best you can be.
I know guys that shoot 3 a day plus content, girls that shoot 3 a day or more. Me, personally, I try to do just enough. 1 a day. I mean, you don't want to be greedy, right?
I don't even go out. Like, I never really go out. I just work all the time, and that's what you've got to do if you want to be successful in this business. And you've always got to think about something different, something that's gonna keep your audience sticky.
Sometimes I truly don't feel anything towards my partner. When I'm in a situation like that, I tend to be the dominant one and sort of guide my partner. Otherwise, it's just awkward.
I think the hardest thing for me shooting like pro porn is the positions and the angles you've got to get in for the pictures. I'm too old. My back's like half breaking. Like, bend a bit more, Ava. I'm like, oh.
Armed with all my new porn knowledge, I felt I was ready to head to a set to meet a fellow Brit who was about to shoot his first ever porn flick.
Hey, I'm Manny. I am now technically a porn star, I'm guessing. So yeah, I'm from London, strip, nude model.
And now porn.
And now porn.
And how did you end up coming to do porn? I know you stripped and stuff, but how did you get here?
I did OnlyFans content for 2 years, and then I was living in Australia. And obviously Twitter is the place that most people promote themselves. And I received a message from Jules Modeling Agency. They contacted me and said, oh, would you like to shoot for Blacked? And every young black man knows of Blacked, so I was just, it's opportunity you can't say no to, I guess.
And what does it mean for you that it is Blacked? Why does that matter so much?
It's just a big brand, so the exposure, the recognition, the quality of the team.
And do you think it takes a particular type of person to sort of do what you're doing now?
Yeah, obviously you've got to have the aesthetic for it, and anyone that's interested, I feel like anyone can do anything as long as they apply themselves.